Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Co-op 64. Today, we are doing another 5 games to get you into gaming as the big topic. But before we get into that, Nick, how are we feeling?
Doing well, my friend. Played some Hades 1 yesterday. Played some 2XKO yesterday. My life's ruined. Let's just talk about it. My entire September plans, they're out the window. I went from, I got to be at Hollow Knight in a couple weeks, and then we got Ghost, and then maybe I'll get the Outer Worlds in September, and it's going to be a great time. My life is ruined when it comes to my timetable now for these games. The way I see it is I have to play Hades and beat Hades. That should take me about 30 hours from what I'm seeing on how to actually fully beat this game. Probably about 30 hours. Cool. Manageable. Got to be Hollow Knight Silksong still. Got at least 20 hours left in that game. At least. I think I'm playing it pretty slow. And I'm really not using guide, really getting immersed. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. So we're talking 60 hours of gaming. That all needs to happen in the next 12 days. So you're like, okay, but Nick, this is your full-time gig. Just spend a bunch of time gaming. I'm away for 4 days in Atlanta, and the entire time I'm going to be busy. So right now, it's been a lot of video games. Last night, also shout out to our community member Lee Jitsu, who sent me a code over for the 2XKO beta. Played an hour of that. Probably should have just been playing more Hades, but guess what? I can't not play 2XKO, and it's on my PC, right? Got to give that one a shot. So many games are coming out, but also, is it not just the best time ever? Because there's so many games coming out. There's so much excitement happening right now. I'm stoked. Can't believe how good it is to be a gamer right now. I'm really enjoying this weekend thus far with the amount of games I'm playing. Life's pretty good. Connor, how are you doing?
This is just a really good comparison point for 24 in comparison to 25, where in 2024, I really loved the cadence of releases because you could mix in your occasional retro game. You had breaks to get something out of the backlog. Right now, it's just absolute insanity. I do not prefer this, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Straight up, I don't know what this year is going to look like for the rest of this year of gaming for me. I hope to get through Battlefield 6 and be able to do a review on that. The idea that a multiplayer game that is as good as the Battle 6 beta was, let's just talk about the beta, and I'm not going to be able to put 50 hours into that because I want to, it's impossible. That's just not going to happen. Pokemon Legends E through A is we look at that as a major release. People want our opinions on that. It's there's 40 fucking games, it feels like, in the month of October. How are we going to get to all of them? We're going to try our best. We're going to go and have these discussions when we can. And we, just to be clear, though, we are really prioritizing what we think are the most important things to get to. Where are you at with Borderlands? Are you going to get more into Borderlands?
I played 2 hours of Borderlands last night. It's more Borderlands. Okay. I'm having fun. Yeah. I like shooting stuff in the Borderlands world. It's funny. It's charming. I'm having a good time, but I don't know if this is something I'm going to beat for sure. Yeah. These games are generally pretty beefy. Not super long, but long enough to get in the way of other games potentially. So.
Yeah. Did you play any more Hollow Knight last night?
Not last night, no.
Yeah. I think that for me, the way I'm going to have the cadence of all this is if I'm here, I'm playing Hollow Knight. I'm going to try to go and if I'm in my living room set up, I'm going to try to progress through Hollow Knight. Tomorrow, my plan is to watch football at my buddy's place for 10 straight hours. Great way to spend a Sunday. Such a good way to spend a Sunday. Making some chocolate chip cookies for tomorrow. Going to bring over a gallon of milk. It's going to be a great day. And then...
Nothing like slamming milk at the bros, dude.
Yeah, milk and cookies, baby. And then I am going to also bring my Switch 2 over and play Hades the entire day.
You fucked up so bad not getting Silksong on Switch 2.
It's kind of true. Yeah. But also, it's on Game Pass. And this is a little... we're shooting 2 podcasts today because I'm going away next week. We're just moving and shaking a bunch of things around. Bonus pod upcoming, not this week, but the week after should be Hollow Knight Silksong review. We're just moving and shaking a bunch of things for this fall season as things are getting more and more busy with gaming. But it's on Game Pass. It goes back to that reasoning of I just did it. Played 5 hours. I also like the way it plays on Game Pass. It feels good, like on the Xbox controller. I played Hollow Knight on the. This will be my hot take. Maybe next pod or something. I think I actually might like the Switch 2 controller more than any other controller.
Okay.
Like, I really like that controller. With that being said, though, I really do love my Xbox Series X controller that I was using to play 2XKO last night. Oh my God, Connor. Real quick, before we get into it, 2XKO. I'm so sorry. 2XKO is excellent. We talked a little bit about it off pod. I think that this is going to take over my life in a way that I've been waiting for a fighting game to really take over. I'm still playing Street Fighter 6 whenever I get the chance to. Like, I had like 15 minutes before hopping on a pre-stream on Tuesday. Played more Street Fighter 6. That's just my pickup at 15-minute type of game. You talk about that with the Vita. That is my opportunity with Street Fighter 6. But I haven't had the time since Tekken 8 to really dive all in on a fighting game. Boy, oh boy, 2XKO. Gas money. I'm just going to leave it there. We got a full last podcast to get to, but man, oh man, it's really good. And Hades 1, Connor. Oh man, Hades 1. We're on watch right now on how high this game can go score wise for me. Yeah. Like we are officially like. I said this in the Discord. I don't know if I've ever had a game click like this immediately in the past, maybe even like 5 years. Like Rebirth, even you have the flashback mission and it doesn't get you in right away. Immediately, I was like, yep.
It's immediately fantastic. I just ended up playing the first few bosses over and over and over again and like barely progressing, and that's what turned me away.
Isn't that what you sort of do though? Like
in roguelikes? Yeah, that's the problem with me and roguelikes, really.
But for me, just like, okay, this run I'm gonna really focus on this thing, this run I'm gonna really focus on that thing. Like I understand right now my process, and get in the comments, help me out, because I'm gonna need it when it comes to this whole thing. My process has been, okay, I need to go and get this game to where I can beat it faster. So I need to go and really focus on the things that aren't going to make this run better, but they're going to make the next run better. So I'm in the mindset of like, we need to help future Nick out right now, or else he's going to be screwed down the line. So I'm really focusing on things that like I can upgrade my mirror. So for the next run, I'm good to go. I'm getting keys to make sure I unlock the other slots in the mirror. Like, I am going to help out Nick, who is going to be on Monday of Shaky Knees. I'm going to this music festival for a weekend, and then I'm sticking around for Monday to see Jeff Rosenstock and Pup. That Monday is going to be a work from Atlanta day for me while you guys stream up here. I'll bring my laptop down in case actual work needs to be done, but if not, I'm going to just be playing Hades, and I'm looking out for him, Connor. I'm looking out for that man who is going and trying to beat this game for the 7th or 8th time at that point, because boy, oh boy, I'm in love with this game, dude. It's so good.
Right on. Getting into housekeeping, this show is made possible by all our lovely supporters over on Patreon. You can get this show and the Casual Gaming News Conversation 3 days early at that lowest tier, but you also get additional episodes of the Casual Gaming Conversation every single week, where we get real creative and real weird with the topics, like a whole episode dedicated to the PlayStation Vita, the console that launched in 2011, 2012, and it failed dramatically, but a console that I love and have been championing for the last year or so. So if you want a podcast all about the Vita and you're interested in picking one up, that's a great place to start. We also have spoiler casts for Death Stranding 2 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. We have older episodes like Trophy Talk, where we talk about collecting trophies and our interest in that. So a lot of great stuff in the backlog over on Patreon for the bonus episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation.
Also, I want to toss out a couple episodes recently. The Hollow Knight spoiler cast for Hollow Knight 1, great episode. Jacob Stevens killed it on that one. And then shout out to Brady and I break it down our top 5 favorite games that we streamed. Really fun retrospective on the past 2 years of content that we've produced. I really think that episode is quite terrific. So go check those ones out too.
Over on the Twitch side of things, we are continuing on with Lies of B, Brady's first playthrough of Lies of P, with Nick and I co-piloting on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Nick is playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, his first playthrough of that. He's loving it.
Really good video game, Connor. Yeah. It's really good.
Did you get through the Forest Temple?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm halfway through the next one. Sweet. Or a little bit more. This is one of those Zelda moments though that I'm like, okay, like when Zelda's hitting and you're progressing through temples and like you get into the room and you're like, okay, I need the key somewhere in this room, pick up the key by solving a puzzle, go to the next room, and it's sort of that cadence feels amazing. Like I love these puzzle rooms. That's what makes Zelda special. The worst is when it's like, oh no, I think I left the key in 3 rooms ago, and I don't know where I'm at now. And then all of a sudden, I'm just running into a maze of fire over and over again, and I'm dying. And it's like,
is
it's
anybody helping navigate you, or are you just kind of?
It's been a fun road playing Zelda on stream, because when it's hitting and I'm just doing the damn thing, and I get to show off my intelligence to some level. It's great. But the second that I am struggling, sometimes the chat doesn't let me struggle enough. And sometimes the chat lets me struggle a little too much. The last stream was the first time I actually had to look up a guide myself, which is totally fine. Like some of these puzzles are dated and a little bit difficult and obtuse, but they're also still terrific. We're just talking about great games today. We have 5 games to get you into gaming, which it's going to just be a fun time talking about video games today.
I am finishing up Silent Hill on Wednesdays. Did you see what happened last stream with that?
I've heard that you got stuck.
Yeah, so I was very lax with my ammo throughout this game. You're just constantly flush with ammo. Like, I think I had like 60 or 70 pistol bullets at one point, so I was just lighting people up left and right. You have like your traditional like melee weapons that you can utilize to conserve ammo. I was like, I don't feel like using those. It's way easier to just shoot everything. And I get to this boss fight and I have 10 pistol bullets left. I didn't pick up the rifle and I can't get it apparently. So that I just have rifle ammo that I can't use. No shotgun ammo. And this enemy has 4,000 HP apparently, and each pistol shot does 24 damage.
So we're talking roughly off my 24. We're talking like at least 20 shots, right?
Yeah. So at least.
Wait, no. Yeah, no. It's 200. It's 200
so
shots.
I'm not even close. But I have like a sledgehammer melee weapon that does like 250, I think.
Okay.
So it's doable, but they shoot at you at first. So I'm bobbing and weaving, and eventually they'll run out of ammo. I'm lighting them up after they run out of ammo, and then there's like a wheelchair in the middle of this like carousel that you can like train around, and they'll get like stuck on it as they're coming after you. And I was just utilizing that to like get swings in, but like having to barely like dodge out of the way as they like finally get unstuck from the wheelchair and like come and try to hit me or whatever, or strangle me. It was so stressful. And like if I were to die at the end or like close to the end, like I was losing like 20-25 minutes every single time, every single run. It was tragic. It was not fun, but it was euphoric when the screen cut because I had won the fight. It was better than every Souls fight I've ever done in my entire life. I was so excited. So we're making progress finally. I'm going to conserve my ammo much better towards the end of this game, but apparently the final boss, if you pull out your guns and shoot and have 0 ammo in all of them, it'll just end the fight. It's like a failsafe, which I'm like, that's really smart.
Quick question for you. If you beat this a little bit early, are we playing some Silksong? What's happening there?
I don't know. We might boot up some Silksong. We might go on to Silent Hill 2 on the Xbox. I do need to test that works properly because I did boot it up once already, and at first it wouldn't load. I cleaned the back of the disc, and then it booted into the game, let me save. So hopefully I can play the whole game on Xbox. This will be the first game I've played not only on stream, on my own on Xbox, on the original console. So
with the Duke, dude, we need we talked about this a little bit, but I don't think that you will ever want to play me in Halo after the issue that happened on Extra Life. By the way, we're getting closer and closer to Co-op 64 Day. First weekend of January, go and get excited. It's our big fundraiser for the start of every single year. Big pushover on Patreon, all that fun stuff, thermometer for the entire year of content. But like as we get closer, you're having less and less time to potentially be the champ until I would get to challenge you again.
Right, I'm thinking about it.
The
wheels are returning.
I'm just saying.
I get to choose the game, or you get to choose the game.
It has to be
a neutral game.
A neutral game.
Okay.
Can
we let the audience decide?
It needs to, sure, but it still needs to be a neutral game.
Yeah.
Like the things that are off the table are things like
Fall Guys.
Valorant, Fall Guys, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like there are certain games that we have a clear advantage where it's. I think that if we're talking
speedrunners again.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down for that. Like that.
That game is so fun.
It's a really fun game,
and I'm actually decent at it.
We can do Mario Strikers. We can do Madden if you wanted. But with Brady, we couldn't do Madden because Brady plays way more Madden than us.
Strikers is interesting.
Yeah, dude, you say the word, dude. You say the word. Oh man! And then any fighting game nowadays feels like it's off the table.
10 games of Strikers.
Connor, I will destroy this Monday stream if you want to come in. I don't know what we need to cash in, but we need some sort of item to cash in. So let me put this out there. We have a PO box. If you send us a fun enough item, it might be the thing that cashes in for evermore here on Co-op 64.
Discord, join the Discord server, chat about games, make friends. We also do community nights over there. We're doing Among Us the weekend of the 20th or something like that.
Yeah, no, next weekend.
Okay.
Next weekend, I believe that y'all are going to go on Friday is the current plan, but it'll be an announcement for this week.
Yep. And I'll add everybody for that, and we'll go from there.
Connor Brady should be rocking that one. It'll be fun.
And then we also have our Google Forms in there where you can write in for reaction to your hot takes. We're shooting one of those today. Grading your top 5 games of all time. You don't have to be a patron to write in for Patreon specific episodes. So that's all over in the Discord.
And also, if you're like, but I'm never going to be a patron, it's like sometimes those episodes go on free feeds. Right. So there's a chance that eventually you might have that moment where like, oh, I wrote in on the Vita episode 17 months ago. We're never posting that everywhere unless Connor goes and slides me a $5 bill. Then maybe. But you know what I'm saying? Want it. That's right. But yeah, just a heads up there though that those forums might as well fill them out and it make the podcast a little bit more fun and get your name shouted out for having fun ideas there.
Merch, we have t-shirts, hoodies, mugs.
We still have mugs. Okay. Right now, and once again, just full transparency, right now my plate is very full on just juggling a bunch of stuff. I have to have a very long phone call to go and transfer everything over properly. So it's just getting pushed down the to-do list, but it will be done hopefully this week.
Leave us nice reviews over on Apple Podcast Services. It gets the show out to more people, and we would really appreciate that. All right. Without further ado, let's get into the hot takes. Nick, what is your video game hot take for this week?
Connor, my video game hot take, it was always going to be about this game today. And I found the right way to discuss this game. My video game hot take for this week is that Hades 2 will be Game of the Year 2025. I understand the current situation that we are in. We have discussed the fact that Expedition 33 beats out almost every single video game in the modern Game Awards era, maybe losing to things that are watershed moments in the industry like Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring. I think that might be the end of the list with the narrative that has been presented thus far on Expedition 33. And then we have a very similar narrative that just happened with Hollow Knight. It is the thing of it's a small team. It's well underpriced for what it should be. Like this game rips, masterpiece. I believe currently still the highest game on Metacritic this year, or it's right next to Expedition 33 around that 94 to 92 area. The game's unbelievable. We've discussed it multiple times as a terrific video game. We still need to beat it, but holy smokes, what a video game. Hades 2 just got announced for the September 25th, coming out in about 2 weeks from the time we were shooting this. And I think that there is a lack of discussion currently on the fact that is probably going to be Game of the Year. And it comes from the sense that as much as I respect and adore Expedition 33, as much as I have enjoyed getting my ass handed to me in Hollow Knight, Hades 2 is basically already out. We already understand what 70-ish% of this game is. I could be wrong on what that number is, by the way. Like I know currently how much is in that game when it comes to the amount of levels, but I don't know how much they're expanding upon it. With what we know, the discussions that were had last year during GOTY season of people that are on the panel for Game of the Year, it wasn't this early access piece is going to be on the GOTY list. And also, guess what? Hades 2 next year is probably going to be on the GOTY list. It was, we're just going to give this the respect it deserves because we put in 40, 50, 70, 100 hours already on early access. But the understanding, and my understanding of this situation is Hades 2 is not a terrific indie game. Hades 2 is not one of the best indie games of all time. Hades 2 might be one of the best games of all time. It is just a pure masterpiece for a lot of people that are on the panel. Shout out to a friend of the channel, Andy Cortez, was watching him stream last night, and this is really where this take came from, where he was discussing the fact that we are having a battle right now between Silksong and Expedition 33, and he's like, yeah, my game of the year is going to be Hades 2. Just from the early access period. And it's like, what? Like watershed moments in gaming with these two titles. Nah, it's Hades 2. And it felt so lackadaisical. Like, yeah, like, of course it's Hades 2. And then I go back this morning and I listen back to, I believe it was the Giant Bombcast Game of the Year episode, and them talking about Hades 2. And there's a moment in the game that just shifts your entire perspective on everything that's happening. And it's like, that's an early access. We're finally getting that full release happening. It's happening in a couple weeks. I think that it's going to be Game of the Year, and it's going to shock the world when we've had this discussion for Game of the Year this entire year. What could possibly beat Expedition 33? Dark Horse, Hades 2 is going to win this whole thing.
I do not see that happening. I will admit that my knowledge of Hades 2 is pretty limited. I haven't really heard many people talk about even the early access period. So I don't know a ton about this game. I think it will probably get nominated just based off of the first one getting nominated and Supergiant being a very beloved studio. And from the limited knowledge I have of the early access period, people seem to enjoy it quite a bit, or at least it's a great follow-up to Hades 1. And if that's the case, then I think that it's pretty much guaranteed to get nominated for Game of the Year. I just don't see anything beating Expedition 33, highest rated game of all time on Metacritic by users. I know that it's a little bit lower for the critics, but even with that in mind, we're talking 92, 93, right? On Metacritic, that's extremely high. And then just the way that people talk about it and the narrative of it being a small team and doing something different with turn-based combat, I think it's a shoo-in personally.
Currently 93 for both Silksong and for Expedition 33 on the critical side of things. Here's where I land with Hades. I think that there's a chance that we're in the 95 business. We're in the 96 business. And that's where it gets interesting, where if it is just definitively a masterpiece for more people than an amazing game, if it hits that level where I think that people are forgetting for Expedition 33 that it is a critic vote at the end of the day for Game of the Year. I think that if the critics are more in on Hades 2, there's nothing that we can do with this narrative street that is Expedition 33. Amazing game, like truly amazing. I picked up a copy of it yesterday finally to go and support the team, because it's rad. I love this team. Yeah,
oh, nice.
And so, but at the end of the day, I don't think that there's enough that can go down narrative street if we're talking about a game that's 2 to 3 points higher across the board for the people that are going to vote on this. And I think
it can. I think it could rate higher. I think you get a 95 and what you said 93.
93 for both.
For Expedition.
Yeah.
I think that I would still lean towards
Hades
Expedition winning personally.
As of right now, Hades 1. Guess Hades 1, Metacritic.
93.
93.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's that step up, and by everything that I've heard, and now that I've gotten to play some of Hades, and this has been a fun thing where last year, started this year, towards the end of last year, where everyone's having the GOTY debates, and Hades 2 was a hot button topic because a lot of people are like, do we allow this on list? Do we not? But it came up in best moments and other type of awards when you're talking about some of these gaming outlets. I think that just across the board, it is a step up. And now that I've seen what Hades 1 is, which is a game that I don't know where I'm going to end up with it. Currently, I am smitten. I am so in love. I'm 10 out of 10, in love with this game. With that being said, I think that there's a really good chance that Hades 2 comes out, and with the knowledge of the ways that this game could potentially improve, I'm like, could it just, or are we talking 95, 96? And if that's the case, I just don't see it losing. Game of the Year, normally, it's really funny. We talk about that Mendoza line, that threshold that you need to achieve to reach Game of the Year. 94 is normally the number that does it. You need above a 94 to get there. Last of Us 2 comes to mind, BG3, Elden Ring. It depends on the year, obviously, in the competition outside of it. But 94 is normally that number. And we haven't had that yet this year. So I think that there's a chance that it could be Hades 2, and I think that there's a chance that it wins it. By the way, that is a scorching hot take. I understand that
it's not going to happen. I completely disagree, but
I don't sleep. When I'm trying to, it's more of a don't sleep situation.
Yeah, like there's no disrespect to Hades 2.
Yeah,
like, I think that it's going to be well deserving of a nomination.
It's going to get nominated? Yeah, which also game of the year this year. When people are like, "Oh, it's heating up," I'm like, game of the year conversation this year has been like, okay, it could Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 hop in on this. It's no longer that. We're talking about like.
I think Ghost could not get nominated.
Ghost could not get nominated. Split Fiction could not get nominated. We're talking about games in franchises that have the pedigree of previous Game of the Year nominees, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. Like Death Stranding 2, I straight up, I 100%. If you asked me this summer, I'd be like, yeah, 100% it's gonna get nominated. I'm like, I don't know now.
It just doesn't feel like people are still talking about Death Stranding 2 in the same way they were when it initially came out.
Yeah, but right now I do know that there's still, and I'm gonna bring it up, and it's not gonna win Game of the Year, but like, do not be shocked. Please do not be shocked if it's Game of the Year season and Blueprints gets nominated. I know that there's at least 5 people that are on the panels that it is their number one. So like if that is the case, there will be people that will fight for it. And I don't think that I've seen anyone that is fighting for it in a way that people are fighting for Blueprints. And when it comes to this panel for games like even Split Fiction, like where I'm like, I think that might get the nod over it. Or right now, it's funny. I have Metacritic up for this year, and the top 2 are the ports from Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, obviously, at 95s apiece. But then Hollow Knight, Silk Song is at 93, Clair Obscur is at 93, Blueprints is at 92. It is the next highest game below those games. And then Split Fiction, Donkey Kong, Despelote. Oh, it's Split Fiction and Donkey Kong, 91 apiece. So those are the top 5 games currently. Despelote, which is apparently a terrific video game, 89. Death Stranding, 89. Monster Hunter, 88. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, 88. Like Shinobi Art of Vengeance, 87. That feels like the other Sword of the Sea, which a game you didn't love, but is at an 88 right now. Like there's other things that are in that conversation, but I feel like when it comes to the games media side of it, the people that do vote on this, it's like, all right, is Death Stranding 2, are we being incorrect that Death Stranding 2 is not safe and Split Fiction might be over it? It's 2 points ahead. I don't think that that's always the case. I don't think that's always the correct barometer for these things. With that being said, right now, the way that it stands, the things that I feel like are locks is it's Clair Obscur, Hollow Knight. That is the end of the sentence at this point. Nothing is safe, and that just means that we're in a year that we're getting great video games. Connor, what's your hot take?
My gaming hot take is that open world game design, Ubisoft game design, isn't inherently bad, and I think that just writing it off completely is a little bit silly. I enjoy these games on occasion. I understand that they're a little bit overdone at this point. We've gotten a million Far Cry games. We've gotten a lot of Assassin's Creed games. Ghost of Tsushima utilizes a lot of these this formats or whatever. Yeah. But I don't think that's inherently bad. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did a lot of these checkboxy open world, climb the tower, get the map type missions or whatever, and I enjoy it there. It's just, if you're not playing these games over and over and over again, on occasion, I like clearing out a base. I like climbing a tower. I'm not going to write a game off completely because it just is an open world game. I prefer my linear games for the most part. I want you to tell me a tailored story and go along set missions and everything, but on occasion, I want to run around in an open world and do these towers and clear out bases, and that's totally fine. And I think that calling any game that has these sensibilities in it Ubislop, I think is kind of stupid. So yeah, I like open world game design on occasion.
I do too. I think that it is the right time, right place thing for sure. Like Rise of the Ronin last year hit for me, and it's because I hadn't played one of these open world games in a minute, and like I was like, dude, just clearing out a base, like especially it wasn't post game, but it was like right before embargo. Okay, I got a few hours. I like throwing on a podcast and diving into that combat system, which is so tight. It's so good. I'm like, oh man, like I'm having a blast right now. Like there's something about that movement of being like, okay, I'm gonna sit down, and the goal is not to be pummeled with story. It is just to go and have fun and live in this world and explore. And it almost is a good reminder that like video games are cool. And like video games with open world design and living in these environments, depending on what the environment is, can just be awesome. Like it doesn't need to always be terrific game design. And I also, I like climbing a tower. I like picking up a collectible. Let the collectibles be cats in the case of Rise of the Ronin and not scrolls that are difficult to find in Assassin's Creed Shadows. But give me some open world design. And then it's really funny. The Min-Max interview with the game director, I believe, of Ghost was like, why you got to ask the question, like, why don't more people use like the wind direction and stuff like that for that is in Tsushima for their open world design? And he goes, I don't know. It's like, okay, we could do more of that, please, in the industry of like how good that is.
I don't want to just be staring at a map as I'm going from point A to point B.
But also, like, there's nothing wrong with the open world design of even a game like Ghost. I love going and finding a quick little mini game to play in that world and doing that whole song and dance. It's love
very digestible. It's very satisfying, and I enjoy it. If the combat is great and clearing out a base just gives me more of that combat, like, fuck yeah, awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's talk games.
All right. We did a 5 games to get you into gaming podcast about a year ago, which is technically titled 10 games to get into gaming because we both brought 5. And we're going to do 5 more a piece.
To clarify, can I read the list from last time? Yeah. Spoilers. And before I hop into this, I highly recommend going and checking out that episode. I was listening to before Connor walked in, got like 30 minutes into the conversation. I think it's a terrific conversation. This is the second part of this conversation, it feels like. So just a quick heads up, I highly recommend going and check that one out first. With that being said, once again, spoilers. Get out now if you haven't seen that episode. Our list was just going back and forth between Connor and I. Mario 64 for me, and then Super Mario World for Connor. The Last of Us for me. Mass Effect 2 for Connor. Portal for me. Counter-Strike Go for Connor. Fortnite for me. Final Fantasy 10 for Connor. And Tears of the Kingdom for me. And Ghost of Tsushima for Connor. So now we're bringing 5 more, right? A piece. So once again, this will be called 10 games to get into gaming. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, hit it.
I'm going to start bold. 10 games to get into gaming. We gave a lot of obvious answers last time. You got to get Mario on the list. Literally, like, I listened to us say that. Like, you got to get a Mario on there. I'm going to start with one. Got to have a battle royale. Got to have a multiplayer. I'm going to start with one that I think is a great way to get into gaming. Like, it's really, really rock solid. It's creative. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It makes you smile. It has a terrific art style. Things that I love, right, Connor? Like, things that everyone should love.
I'm trying to figure out what it is.
A game that I talked too much about already, but I'm going to talk about it at the start of this episode.
I think I know what it is.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Fall Guys.
Maybe that's on my list, Connor. My first game is Hi-Fi Rush. And I wanted to start with the only issue that there is to bring someone into gaming. And it is, there is a grade in the corner, and you might not have a great grade. Guess what? I'm somebody that is a drummer and a guitarist and knows music very well and knows how to keep a beat, and I still struggled with the grading system, and I sometimes got C's and B's while I was playing this game. So it's okay. Like, unless you're a perfectionist and you're like, I need those S ranks or whatever, you just be okay with being a little bit bad. With that being said, the amount of heart that is in this game, the amount of charm that is in this game, the amount of whimsy that is in this game is amazing. If you're somebody that likes music, there is some of the most not only terrific music, but digestible music in any game I've ever played. We're talking the Black Keys. We're talking just some well-known acts that you go and are like, I know that track. Oh, I've heard this one before. And when the music kicks, it kicks. With that being said, the original scoring in this game is also terrific. If you like music, I think you should play this game. Like, we were talking a little bit before the show about like Ted Lasso. My thing with Ted Lasso is always, if you want to like just to put a smile on your face, you should watch Ted Lasso. I think if you like music and you want to get somebody into video games, Hi-Fi Rush is such a good call. Hey, this is a direct line. I think about my buddy Scott, who loves, like, he's into some games. We loved playing Beat Saber back in the day. He's played a couple of other titles with his older brother, but he's not a gamer. I would highly recommend if he picked up a PC and he's like, hey, what do I play? That would be my first recommendation to him because that music is just so good. With that being said, I also think that the combat mechanics are just rock solid action game combat mechanics. They can be a lot sometimes, but it's also very basic where it's like, okay, that enemy has green shield, call in the corner the person that has green power, right? Like it's really simple in that way. That has red shield, call in the thing with red the red character to go in and break the red shield, and then you go and get in with your guitar and slash away. It's very basic in those mechanics, but I understand that even calling in somebody can be a lot at times. With that being said, this is part 2 of the games that we need to play. So this is a great recommendation if it's like maybe you played a game or two before, you know how to play video games, like, but you're not really into the genre. This is a must play in my opinion. It's a 9.5. Nikki 9.5s, yeah. 9.5 out of 10. It's on Game Pass. It's hella cheap. It's on PlayStation nowadays. Like, play this video game. It is, in my opinion, one of the most underappreciated games that's come out of the modern generation. It's Xbox's best game in the past 10 years. Like, and I don't think it might not be close. Like, I love Forza Horizon 5. I think that game is one of the best games ever, but that's clearly not for everyone. This game is for everyone. And so my first game, Hi-Fi Rush, I know that you don't love it as much as me, but you gave this one a shot too right when we started up this channel in 2023. Brilliant game. One of the games to get somebody into video games.
Yeah, I think Hi-Fi is great. Yeah. I like you said, I didn't fall in love with it in the same way that you did, but I think it's an easy recommend. I think it is probably Xbox's best game in the last 10 years. With that in mind, like I gave that game an 8. Yeah. But I think that Xbox makes a lot of 8s. Like they make a lot of great games. I just don't think they make that higher tier Last of Us level, God of War level game yet. So I'm hoping for that from like something like Fable or Gears E Day or something like that.
Next year, right now, Xbox feels like there's a lot, especially with what they're publishing, with Keeper, Outer Worlds 2, and Ninja Gaiden 4 coming out of the pipeline. Next year, Xbox is gonna be awesome. I think that there's a chance. Have you seen this? The rumors about getting Forza Horizon 6 revealed at TGS, Tokyo Game Show?
Oh,
yeah, because it might be in Tokyo. Is the thing there?
That makes sense.
Dude, it's hopefully they're cooking out there because I really want to just play a lot of great Xbox games. I hope they take that next step for sure. But yeah, Hi-Fi Rush is my first one. My second one is Undertale. Let me just go, Connor. Let me go. Okay. I'm off the leash. You'll go 2 in a row. I messed up. Hi-Fi Rush was my third game on my list, but I want to start somewhere else. Connor, it's jazz. We're going. I'm so yapping. Funny. That's really funny. Undertale's my second game. This is a indie masterpiece, basically. The only thing that I would say isn't like makes it a non 10 out of 10 is the fact that I think that they should feed you a little bit more direction on the story compared to sort of just letting things happen to the player. I feel like there should have been put more weight on the player initially so you can sort of understand the ending a little bit better when you start. Obviously, this is a game with multiple endings. I think that going and having that full understanding right when you get into it would make the experience a lot better.
I agree.
Remove that. It's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Nikki 9.5s, baby. We're just ripping 9.5s off the rip of this podcast. Undertale has the second best soundtrack in all of gaming. Undertale has magic. It has sauce. It has atmosphere. I talked about on the Hollow Knight spoiler cast, a game that I'm not talking about today, the Hollow Knight spoiler cast, that I think that Hollow Knight might have the third best atmosphere outside of the BioShock 2 that I bring up all the time, and then Bloodborne, and then Hollow Knight. I think Undertale also has that in a very distinct way when it comes to the sauce and atmosphere of that game. You feel like, and I say it all the time, you feel like a little guy in a big world, but the difference between this and something like Elden Ring, it's not something that's gonna attack your face off like a giant monster. It's a cute little fucking puppy that you want to go and pet and explore and see these random characters and see, like, just there's a robot that dances. Like, there's just so much fun and magic in Undertale. I think that also going back to like getting into gaming, the combat is really basic. Like, we can talk about how unique it is and how cool that is, but at the end of the day, it's all happening in a box. Like, it's really simple, but terrific. Also, you can play it in a bunch of different ways. It gives a good insight on choice-based gaming and turn-based gaming. Like, I think that is super helpful, but it's not like as crazy over the top of, okay, I'm going to use my magic ability or my fire ability because they're water in the rock paper scissors system that we get in most turn-based games. No, we're having a conversation. So let's have this conversation and, hey, maybe I'll give you food to make you happy so I can go on to the next encounter. Stuff like that, which is very simple to understand. I love Undertale. That's not a shock to anyone on this podcast. I love that we get to do these episodes every now and then. I think that this probably will be a yearly episode that we do because we get to just talk about really good video games, but also the way that they get players involved into the genre. I think Hi-Fi Rush and Undertale are two of the best to potentially do that. I think Undertale is still my favorite indie game I've ever played. I think that it's magical, and I think not only new players should play it, and I think that it would be fine for that to be someone's first game. Straight up, I think that would be a great way to go and get them into gaming because it's basic and has a very cool pixelated art style and has terrific music. A lot of the core aspects of video games that I appreciate are easy to appreciate in Undertale.
I think that you can appreciate it more, though, if you've played a lot of video games, because you'll realize how unique it is and how different it is and how it's using those like turn-based tropes and kind of spinning them. And I think that that's a big factor for my personal enjoyment with that game and appreciation with Undertale. I echo a lot of what you said. I think it has great writing. I think it has very unique and interesting visuals. It just didn't hit for me in the same way as it did with a lot of other people because I think that doing the neutral run at first doesn't let the story like hit as hard apparently by the end.
Yeah,
is what everybody says. So I finished the game and I was like, that was great, and then I moved on. But apparently you got to play it 3 times and you got to go one way or the other with where you're going to lean into, and that'll get you a different ending and make it more impactful apparently. So
here's the thing with why it still rocks with me is that neutral ending is still super impactful for me. I still love the neutral ending.
Yeah.
I just don't think I know how the other two end, by the way. That got spoiled real fast on my TikTok timeline after beating that game, you know? Mm-hmm. But like I think that my experience with Undertale is what I love in video games. Great music, great characters, great world design, great combat, a lot of choice. I love Undertale, and I think that it's a great way to get into video games, yeah.
With my first game to get you into gaming, I think if we were to do 10 of these episodes, we would hit all of these games eventually. We're talking Mario.
We're just going big Mario?
Yeah, like I think that like you could recommend any Mario game technically, and we would do so if we were to do X amount of episodes to allow us to hit every single one of them. But I'm going to go with Mario Odyssey in this one. Okay. I think that it's probably the most digestible of the Mario games at this point. It's easy to get into. It's not a very difficult game, but it's a very satisfying, tight platformer. And if you want to be somebody who like gets super technical with it, like I've seen like speedrunners and people like kind of going crazy with movement, you can do so. But if you're somebody new to gaming, you can just hop in and get immersed in these different environments, these gorgeous, unique, creative environments to be in, and run around, get your moons, get your purple coins. You're constantly being rewarded, constantly getting satisfying platforming challenges and bosses. And it's just so easy to recommend. And it's so warm too. I think it's difficult not to have a smile on your face as you're playing through this game. And there's certainly moments that bring that feeling to the highest degree. I point to New Donk City as like one of the greatest video game environments that has one of the greatest video game moments of all time in it as well. So I think that it's such an easy recommend. It was an easy recommend when it first came out. And I think that as we've gotten more platformers since then and looking back to the past, that the games that inspired this game, I think that Mario Odyssey stands tall as one of, if not the greatest platformer of all time. It's like this Mario 64 Astrobot. And I think you could argue Astrobot, but I think that if you're getting into gaming, you don't have that same nostalgia for all those PlayStation characters, that I think it's difficult to recommend Astrobot because of that to a new gamer. But I think that if you have no history with Mario, you can jump into Odyssey and just really appreciate almost everything about this game.
I love Odyssey. 9 out of 10 amazing for me. I think that it's kind of underappreciated how good New Donk City is at this point. Straight up. But like you said that, it got a little bit of chills being like, yeah, this is one of the best video game moments ever. Like, and it's not really close. Like it's so clearly between music and environment and the way it celebrates the character. It's terrific. And
I thought about doing Bonanza.
I was going to bring it up.
Is 1A, 1B with Odyssey and Bonanza at this point?
Ask us next year when we do this episode. Bonanza is going to be brought up by one of us too. I really think that it's so good. That game feels so good to play. But back to Odyssey, I think that there's so much charm and love, and it's just we brought up on the previous episode Mario 64 Super Mario World. I love the fact that it's modern. Like I'm a big person that leads into on these episodes modern gaming because right now, most likely, if you're going to pick up a game, it's going to be a modern one. It's less obtuse as some of the old ones. I thought about tossing some more retro love on here, but I think that that's harder to get into when you're talking about games from the 90s. Even though, like I said, the last episode, I started with Mario 64. So I think that things are still on the table from that generation and beforehand. But I think that there's also just so much ease in the modern video game landscape of getting people to play, and Mario Odyssey is just a must play. I think that it also is underappreciated because it came out the same year as Breath of the Wild. Like, what a clear slam dunk game of the year if Breath of the Wild didn't come out that year. And even then,
you had Persona 5 right there. I don't know.
That's true.
It's close.
It's close. But yeah, I prefer Persona 5 to it.
But don't forget Horizon Zero Dawn, dude.
Dude, I can't wait. Next year, I'm already cooking what I'm streaming for the next year. Can't wait to play Horizon Zero Dawn.
Stream?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Dude.
Nice.
I'm going to do it, man.
Speaking of open world games, my next game is Cyberpunk 2077.
And that's my best Cyberpunk music impression. I've never beaten this game.
I think that what I would point to for why I'm recommending this is driving through Night City, seeing this environment, seeing the lights and sounds, and being immersed in this world, and seeing how far video games have come. Like, I think that this is the example for a video game powerhouse when it comes to visuals, when it comes to environmental design, when it comes to player agency and choice. I think that there's just a lot to love here, and I think it would be super impressive and honestly mind-blowing to somebody new to gaming to be like, oh my God, this is what games can be. This is what games are now. Obviously, this game didn't launch in the best state, but has just been refined over and over again and enhanced with updates and DLC. Phantom Liberty is a fantastic add-on to this. It was my third favorite game of 23. Yeah. And I think that it's arguably the best part of the game, and that's saying something because I think the story in the main game is excellent. There's fantastic characters here to fall in love with and choices to make, but then also the music is top of class in my opinion and enhances the gameplay experience so much. When you're going into some of these combat sequences and the music starts to fucking kick and you're pulling out a gun that can like bounce bullets off of the wall or go around corners and you're flying around doing like double jumps and everything to kind of the beat of the music, it like makes me feel euphoric. I love it so much that I could just jump into this game, pick up a mission, shoot some shit, and get that feeling again, and go on with my day. And like, I don't necessarily need to like jump back into this game, but I find myself wanting to just get that itch scratched from this combat and that audio visual experience, and have it all mixed together and just experience that real quick and go on with a different game. But I need it's so unique and it's so singular that every once in a while I'm booting up Cyberpunk, I'm driving around, I'm gonna pick up a mission, I'm gonna shoot some stuff and then move on. So yeah, I think that getting into this game early in your gaming career might set the bar a little bit high for open world games, but I think that if you want to be sold on what modern video gaming is, it's Cyberpunk 2077.
I got chills, man. You're yapping, dude. Golly. Yeah, I can't wait to stream it later this year. I feel like that's where it ends. This is a game that I've now owned since Christmas last year. I wanted to play it. We talked at the start of this year of like, can we get a spoiler cast in for Cyberpunk? Me and Brady fell off it. I want to play this game so badly because I just know it's gonna be one of my favorite games of all time. I know myself well enough to be like, good modern combat with a futuristic world and fun gunplay, like
I do think that the shooting is so much better on mouse and keyboard, though. I will state that that I think that if I were to recommend this game to somebody, I would say get a souped up PC and dive in on mouse and keyboard.
Connor's saying that just because he knows I'm going to play it on controller. By the way, like for sure, going to play it on controller.
It feels so good to flick around in an environment and snap to somebody's head and then turn back, bounce bullets off the wall, do the double jump to the next layer or whatever, like pulse towards somebody and like do a melee. Like, oh, it feels so good, dude.
I know.
Use the different hacking abilities. There's so many different ways to handle situations. You can do stealth and oh my goodness, it's
Cyberpunk's rad, man. I'm excited. We've had many conversations recently about like the way we're going to be streaming towards the back half this year. I've totally let Connor and Brady off the leash when it comes to group stream. I'm like, to make this happen, you guys don't need to show up. And they're like, we're going to still show up and be part of things because they love streaming and love hanging out with me. But to get it through a game like Cyberpunk and for me to be able to dial in and play this, we're going to need to stream a little bit longer than 3 hours on those Monday streams. And it's going to be a really special winter going into 2026 with playing that game. I feel like I bring it up on every podcast and I don't mean to, but Mario Sunshine and streaming that was just not what I needed in my life. I need Mario. Oh, sorry, not Mario. I need Cyberpunk 2077 in my life. Something awful.
I will say the only thing that I could see holding somebody back is the fucking brain dance sequences in this game. They are terrible, and I wish you could just skip them. If I'm being perfectly honest, they definitely make the story drag quite a bit. It's like a hard stop in the momentum. But I think if you can get through those and get over that, then you're going to be fine.
We're back to me. Do you want to spoil your next game like I did?
No,
no, my next game is pretty obvious one because it's the game that got me into gaming. It's Uncharted 2. I think that Uncharted 2 ropes the player in to what video game storytelling can be so well. Those first 3 missions in Uncharted 2 are spectacular. We have the greatest opening sequence in all video games. Maybe outside of The Last of Us. Maybe outside of going to Rapture for the first time. Well, it's in that conversation. I remember the draft we did. I think that those were the first 3 picks. Mm-hmm. You have the greatest opening. I'll say it. Yeah, I'm going to say it. It's the greatest video game opening sequence. You see that sequence. You see what is happening. And you go, holy shit. This is gaming. And I mean that in the most corny way possible. I mean that in the most over the top way possible. Like hyperbole to the highest degree. This is what video games are all about. It is, and we joke about it. It is such a good sequence that Mission Impossible 15 years later, like, well, let's just copy it. Like that's how good it is. But then the character introductions, the way that the team starts to form, the sneaky sequences and the sneaky links that are happening, the way that there is immediate twists and turns, tosses you in this story in a way that is, I understand what there's someone already typing up the comments. Why wouldn't I play Uncharted 1 first? It's okay to not play Uncharted 1 because it tosses you in the story and holds your hand well enough that you really get cooking with this franchise. Gunplay, rock solid for a cover shooter, still fun. They do a great thing that I talk about in Call of Duty Zombies all the time of having good lack of just abundant options. So when you pick up a pistol that is a little bit different, but it's cool, you're like, oh, cool. Like, I got it. When you pick up the shotgun for the first time, like, I got it. When you pick up something that it's an explosive for the first time, like, I got, like, it feels like there's good upgrades in the weaponry that you're getting through these environments, and it feels like you were progressing well. I think that the story is brilliant. I think that when you're talking about the last sequence in this game, it gets knocked all the time of not being like this terrific finale to this terrific video game. I think it's fine. I
completely disagree with that.
And criticism. I also think that the entire back half of this game, which a lot of people talk about as a slog, I remember playing this when I was a kid multiple times, and when I was a college student, I'm like, it still rips. It still works for me. I think that
people think the back half of this game is a slog.
Yeah, people think that the second you get into kicking it with our boy Tenzin, that it's not as fun. And I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? Great. It's so good. I think that Uncharted 2 is what video games can be. They're what video games should be too. They're very fun. And Uncharted 2 is very fun. You also get to kick it with freaking Nathan Drake, who is one of the best characters in all of media to kick it with. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, oh, like he's this immensely deep person like in this title. He's just fun to be around. He's fun to be a character that as he's sliding off an icy cliff, go, no, and like go grab onto an edge. You're like, yeah, we got a squad. You have Victor Sullivan, Chloe, Elena, just Flynn. Like the list goes on and on of how good these characters are. And I just think that Uncharted 2 is a massive W. Another 9.5 from Nikki Two Shoes. Yeah, I love Uncharted 2. So this is my third game. And my fourth game, I'm kidding. No. I by the way, I looked down. I'm not going to use this one. Astrobot is on my list. We talked about it a little bit in Mario, but I agree with your take, so I didn't want to use this one. I almost said Astrobot instead of Uncharted 2 at the very end there, though. Connor, what's your next game?
My next game is a game that I think goes a little bit underappreciated, but I think it's a great candidate for something, for a game for somebody who is looking to get into gaming to pick up. We're going to go with Ni no Kuni, a PS3 JRPG, level 5 in Studio Ghibli collaboration. I think that having that Studio Ghibli touchstone for a lot of people is an important factor here, that if you've watched your Kiki's Delivery Service, your My Neighbor Totoro, Howl's Moving Castle, so on and so forth, so many classic movies, Spirited Away, that if you like those movies, you're probably going to enjoy the magic of Ni no Kuni. And if you're talking about how impressive the Uncharted 2 opening is, I think the opening to Ni no Kuni is equally impressive. Not equally, but like it's notably
it's a
very
opening.
Gripping. It's incredibly sad, but kicks off this adventure very well and is great motivation for your main character Oliver here and Mr. Drippy to go on this adventure. It has a gorgeous art style and a magical world to dig into. The combat isn't very complex, but it's interesting. It has Pokemon sensibilities where you're capturing different little monsters. I think that the different environments and the cities that you go to are jaw-dropping. And I think that taking that Studio Ghibli formula and magic and presenting it in a video game is such an easy sell to anybody who's a fan of those movies, or just a fan of just magical worlds and wanting to get lost and experience this story and this adventure that these characters go on. I've been I've never beaten this game, but I've been banging the drum on it since I played it in high school. I remember telling Brady about it, and he's like, "That is a made-up game." But no, I was recommending it to him. I was recommending it to anybody I could because it's just so magical and special. I would like to get back to it and beat it eventually, but yeah, I still, even with having not finished it, I think it's an easy recommend. And it's not overly complicated, so I think it's pretty easy to get into if you're new to games. But and I think that it's easy to pull somebody into who needs to be sold on video games as well.
I don't have a lot to say on this one. Obviously, never played it, but you've been pretty high on this for a long time. I would love for you to get the chance to, in a time that we are not crazy insanely busy, to stream this or something. I know it's a longer title, but
Laura has beaten it and she
really
loves it. Yeah.
That's the other thing. I was thinking about the fact that I would love to go and like rewatch all the Ghibli movies, but also I want to play that game because of that feeling, which is such a fall feeling to me of just like endless smiles and joy and stuff like that. I love watching Princess Mononoke and House Moving Castle around this time of year. So I would love to get to that. Maybe not this year with the schedule that we have, but maybe next year around that time. Oh, so many directions to go, but I'm going to go in this direction. My next game does come with the caveat. You got to be able to deal with a little bit of horror. You got to deal with just a bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think that if you're trying to get somebody into gaming, like the horror genre right now for movies is booming, more popular than ever.
Yeah. My next game is Resident Evil 2 Remake. I think that when you're talking about modern sensibilities, starting somebody out on Resident Evil 2 is probably the best way to hold their hand and introduce them into the franchise. I think that the focus on puzzle solving in Resident Evil 2 and going through the Raccoon Police Department is so easy and so good. The way that you open the map and you can't go through this door, so you got to go around to that door. It like really helps the player along and figure out what we need to do. And when you're stuck, it's always due to the fact that it's probably right in front of you. That's the only reason that you're getting stuck on and hung up on this puzzle. And then you retrace your steps a little bit. You're like, I forgot to go and pick up this puzzle piece that I clearly should have gotten. I went in this room and I didn't pick anything up, and now I'm going back. Stuff like that. It's so clear that you should go and solve a puzzle in a certain way. But also, you feel really smart when you solve those puzzles. Like, it's a nice little pat on the back to be like, yeah, like, I went out there. I dealt with the scariness of this game. I came back, and now I'm able to solve this puzzle. It feels great. I think that when we're talking about characters, does it get better than the ultimate badass Leon Kennedy? I don't know. And I don't mean that in the sense of, once again, there's deeper characters. We just posted a speak one recently where like we all spoke for Kratos over Leon. Yeah, there's much more well-written, deeper characters. But it kind of goes back to my Uncharted 2 take of it's just fun to be Leon. It's just fun to kick it with Leon in this game. I think it's more fun in RE4, but still in RE2, he's a great time. He's a great character. You feel cool. You feel like it goes back to what this game is to its core. You're a police rookie and there's a situation and we got to go and solve it. And there's just nefarious things happening. It's really cool. I also think that this game is kind of delightfully cinematic, where there's certain shots when it's raining on you that it is total photo mode moments. Like, oh my gosh, this game looks great. The shooting is beginner shooting. Go, slow down, okay, line up. This zombie's coming real slow at you. Go, turn. Even the big bad of the game, Mr. X, that's chasing you, is slow as hell. You're gonna outrun him. Like it's so there's not this intensive, okay, like if I don't run away from this thing, it's gonna come and catch me. It's very, the momentum is very slow. But it also still feels high stakes. There's still a lot happening in this game. And I think that it's just a great way to go and enter the horror genre in video games. Like you said, if you enjoy horror or even like you're not like crazy scared by it, I think that RE2 is a great way to be like, hey, Resident Evil 2 gets you on the stakes. Enjoy this. Go ahead. I talked about on the last episode, like I was dating someone and getting them to play The Last of Us and stuff like that. This is like if I was dating someone that like liked horror games or like liked horror movies at all, and they were wondering what's the first game I should play. The reason it's on my list is that was my thought process, and like Resident Evil 2 Remake would be brilliant for someone that wants to hop into the gaming world. So yeah, that's my number 4.
Yeah, if you want to argue that RE2 is survival horror perfection, I wouldn't really bat an eye at that personally. And I think that it's not an incredibly complicated survival horror game either. I think it's pretty digestible, pretty easy to get into. I think it would allow a new player to appreciate game design and map design very well, and how everything kind of feeds into itself and loops back in on itself, and getting your different keys and being able to unlock different areas and seeing how it all connects, I think is really impressive as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have it, by the way, 9.5, baby. We made it. We've gone through 3 games at that 9.5 area.
Yeah, I wouldn't give this a 10, but I think that if somebody did, I'm not mad at it. Yeah.
I'm at an 8.5 with it. Okay. I think that it's a little too basic for me at times. I also think that the overarching story could have been a little bit better and stuff like that. It's not as campy as I want, but it's not as like serious as I want. It like Master of None sort of situation right there. So whereas like RE4 is like very campy and does that all the way, and that's why that game is basically a masterpiece for me. So, but yeah, I love RE2 Remake, a game that I hate because I have to cut it on so many videos and this or that and keep vibes. It's always a game that I cut, but I love that on an episode like this, I can go and sing its praises for being terrific at what it does. Connor, what's next?
I'm pivoting here a little bit. I had The Wolf Among Us on here, but I'm going to go with The Walking Dead, the game, season 1. I think that if you've never played a video game and like have never even picked up a controller, you can enjoy The Walking Dead, the game. You're going to have to learn some button presses for like the quick time events, but those are still pretty basic. And if you fail them, it just boots you back to it. You try it again, and it's totally fine. But when it comes to a story and characters and seeing the way that they interact and how you can sway the story and change things, I think it will immediately grip somebody who watches a lot of TV, watches a lot of movies, and getting that experience in video game form and seeing how it is different and how it is unique, a unique medium to experience a story. I think The Walking Dead, the game, is a very early example of a watershed moment of decision making and how you, the player, can sway those different story moments with Lee and Clementine's journey, with all these great cast of characters, and how different characters can live or die and how your choices matter. I think that it's a very easy sell for somebody who's trying to get into gaming. It's also pretty short. It's 10 hours long, and it takes you on a really great arc with these characters. The person that I would point to for a great example of why I'm choosing this game is Brady. When we were in high school, Brady was very into like Call of Duty and Madden, and like didn't really play a lot of single player stuff. He grew up with brothers who like had other consoles and maybe played like GTA and stuff, but like he had leaned very heavily into just COD, and just like a lot of people in around that time. And I was like, Brady, you got to play The Walking Dead, the game. And he was like, fine, I'll check it out. And he loved it. And we talked about the different choices that we made and the way the story went and everything. And he really adored it. So yeah, I think that it's an easy sell, especially if you're somebody who's never played a video game, period. So yeah, I love The Walking Dead, the game. And I think it holds up incredibly well too. It has a timeless art style. So I think that if you played it in 2012, you probably loved it. If you play it now, you'll probably love it just the same.
Yeah, I think that the one point that I want to point to for this is the way that you're able to get attached to Lee and Clem is different than in movies and TV, it feels like, because you feel the weight of their decisions and the way that your choices have impact. It allows you to attach to those two characters better than when I watched The Walking Dead. But like, I loved the first few seasons of The Walking Dead, but like, and when certain characters died, I cared. It was impactful. But when it comes to just like the narrative journey that you go on with these two, I love just the way that it really impacts the player for who these characters are and the journey that they go on. So I love this take. I think that is a slam dunk, like, of a must play if you are just getting into gaming. And it's so basic, but also like good basic. Like it doesn't feel boring by any means. It's high stakes still, zombies, murder, all the good stuff that you expect in video games. All right, my last one is not going to be Fall Guys, even though I have it listed out here. My last one's Neva. I think that Neva is a great way to get somebody into video games. The sell on Neva is pretty basic. I want to start with the fact that the combat is really simple, like really simple, but it's also very satisfying. I think that the art style is, like I said, every single when we were reviewing it and I was talking about it and singing its praises last year during GOTY season, every single time that you go and just like put the controller down, you could go and take a screenshot of that, and it could be just screensaver on your PC, and you'd be like, yep, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. The pitch of a bonding journey between you and your pet is awesome. It always hits. It's always brilliant. It is super impactful. If you are a pet owner, I highly recommend, give this one a shot. It's truly fantastic to go and bond with something and feel these emotions in a way that you already have tangibly with a pet, if you've ever had one. I also think that the music is so underrated. I think that is just like such a clear, I almost want to say, use the word watershed moment for gaming in last year, where it's just like, oh, dude, it's so good. And it fits the scenery that you're seeing on screen very, very well. Something that I brought up a lot on the previous episode was short video games. Hey, I got a few nights, I got a weekend, I got a weekend to maybe hop into gaming. What should I play? Neva is so short, you can beat it in 2 sittings, and it's going to impact you so much going through this journey. So like you're going to go and have that moment where, say you pick it up on a Friday night, you beat it on a Saturday, you're going to be thinking about Neva all week long. You're going to be thinking about that next video game hit that you can have. I think that Neva is brilliant. I wish you and Brady beat it last year. I think it was my number 6 last year. Not every video game needs to be a 90-hour RPG to be special, and Never proves that to the highest degree, and is a great way to get people on video games.
Unfortunately, I feel like this game's going to be my backlog forever.
Yeah.
I know that it's quick and something that I could just cross off the list pretty easily, but it's something that I'll be like, yeah, I'm interested in that, but there's like so many other games that I want to play over it that I just can see myself never getting to it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think though it's once again,
it looks gorgeous.
If you like, it's a hard thing because I don't like. I'm gonna be screaming its praises for a long time. I gave this game a 9. I think that it's amazing. I don't think that it's like a must play, but I think it's a great way to get people into video games. Like it holds that line very well because I think you go from Neva and you're like, okay, like you like artistic games. So many options. Okay, you really vibe with the music in this game. So many options. Okay, you need an impactful story that goes in, like really pulls on your heartstrings. So many options. It's a great way to go and be a stepping stone into the world of video games, and I think that that's what this episode serves so well as. Neva is my final choice. I had Astrobot and Fall Guys on my list, but maybe I'll bring those up in the next episode.
With my final game here, we're going to go with Animal Crossing New Leaf. I think that obviously Animal Crossing New Horizons took over the world during COVID, and a lot of people who weren't necessarily into games ended up picking up a Switch and getting into Animal Crossing New Horizons just because it's really easy to get into and grasp your different goals and have your own little experience, have your own little town, build up your house, pay off your debt, go fishing, do your little activities, hitting a rock or hitting a shovel with a rock to see if money comes out of it every single day. It's quick and easy and digestible, but very warm and very cutesy, but also very fun. And you can go absolutely crazy with it if you want. You can customize that experience to your liking. You can play it for hours on end, or you can play it for 30 minutes every single day for years to come and have a great time. Either way, whichever option you decide to go down. I know Laura will go on long grinding sessions of playing this game for hours on end, but for me, I'm somebody who plays it in short bursts and gets a lot out of it from that experience, collecting your different fossils and such, building up the museum, getting your different fish. Super fun and satisfying. Getting to know your different townsfolk and having those cute little interactions with them, and as they're giving you gifts and such is adorable. I think that New Leaf is the best version because it is complex enough to be engaging, but doesn't go completely overboard. Whereas I think New Horizons goes a little bit overboard with how much there is to do and how much you can customize the experience. Something that I really love in New Leaf that isn't in New Horizons is being able to upgrade the store multiple times. So if you buy more stuff at the store, it eventually will go into construction and will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I loved doing that. That was you can only do that once in New Horizons, which I hated that change so much. You have the little island that you can go to as well. That's in New Leaf. Where they have specific biomes or whatever, and you can catch certain things on there. But yeah, I think that the reputation of Animal Crossing is broad, and people know what the fuck I'm talking about when I talk about Animal Crossing, even if you're not into video games. So I don't think I need to really sell it that much. But yeah, Animal Crossing New Leaf with my final pick.
I think that you ended this really well with the way that the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Animal Crossing being a terrific game to get people into video games, because we don't have the gaming boom that we had 2020 to 2022 in the pandemic without Animal Crossing. Straight up, everyone gets locked inside. What are we going to play? Animal Crossing. It was, in my opinion, it's not game of the year 2020, but it is the game that kind of defined 2020.
Right.
And so I think that there's a easy sell to be yeah, just go and do it. What are we doing? Just go and play Animal Crossing, have fun. It is so fun. It's so delightful. It's so charming. Animal Crossing's terrific. So yeah, a slam dunk pick for your final choice. Do you have any other honorables?
I don't want to share them because we might do another episode in the future.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you in a year and a half where I'll have to go and listen to the podcast like right before we get going again. You ready to draft?
Yeah. Do you want the first pick or do you want me to take it?
You take the first pick.
All right.
Today we are drafting best Smash Bros. Reveal trailers. Connor, you got the first pick.
With my first pick, I'm going to go with Sephiroth. I don't love this character as much as Nick does, but I think that this trailer is fucking awesome. We saw that big magical monster thing in the sky take out all the characters in Smash Ultimate in that first trailer, and now it's getting split in half by Sephiroth in the sky, and it just highlights how powerful this fucking character is. We also see him like stab through Mario or whatever, which is hilarious. And like it's an awesome trailer. So Sephiroth's my first pick.
That's why I wanted the 2-3 turn here, because I think that there's 3 big ones.
Okay.
With my first pick, I'm going to choose the trailer that put the Game Awards on the map. Joker in Smash Bros. I got chills by even saying it. What a terrific trailer. Everyone thought, oh snap, Persona 5 is coming to Switch. That's really cool. And then all of a sudden, you see him flip the letter over and you get full body chills. One of the greatest JRPG characters coming over to Smash. It's one of those things that Smash reveals, takes something that's impossible and then makes it possible. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So Joker with my first pick. And with my last pick, with my second pick, I'm going to choose the last Smash reveal. I'm going to choose Sora. Simple and clean playing during that trailer is one of the most magical trailer moments in all of gaming history. Sora flying out of the keyhole, it almost felt like this wasn't just a love letter to Kingdom Hearts. It wasn't a love letter to Smash Bros. And the way that this journey is finally coming to an end, it is a love letter to video games, because that's what Smash Bros. Is. And the fact that Sora was the #1 character that was the most requested on that forum all those years ago for getting into Smash Bros. And the fact that he was finally coming through and joining this roster, it is pure magic. Sora with my second pick.
With my second pick, we're going to go with another character that we didn't know if it was possible for them to be in Smash Bros. Because of their relation to Xbox. We're going to go with Banjo-Kazooie of Rareware fame, who kind of was put on the map through the SNES and the N64 with Donkey Kong Country and GoldenEye and Banjo-Kazooie, but then was bought by Xbox, and they held onto that IP, but they had that relationship with Nintendo and got Banjo-Kazooie into this game, and that trailer and that reveal was awesome. So seeing that puzzle piece like go across the screen and with Donkey Kong and King K. Rool and everybody freaking out that Banjo is going to be in the game, just like we all were. Great trailer.
Great trailer.
With my third pick, we're gonna go with Isabelle.
Damn it! If you give a good pitch on this, you can win this whole draft. And why Isabelle, Connor?
I mean, Animal Crossing obviously just had grown substantially in popularity. Isabelle has become the Animal Crossing character alongside Tom Nook, but Isabelle is actually likable. And it also goes with the New Horizons reveal as well.
That's why.
So it's like a double whammy. So yeah, we're gonna go with Isabelle with my third pick.
You got 2 for 1. It was, you close out a direct with a Smash character reveal, which is a massive announcement always, and then they announced the next Animal Crossing. What? Screw you, dude. Okay. Because I think Isabelle can be the 101 on this draft because of that. Because it was just like mind-blowing everywhere, just like so good. Yeah. It was gaming nerd announcement heaven for a moment due to a freaking cute little doggo. Okay, with my next pick, I'm going to choose Inkling because it was the start of the Smash reveals. You know, them on the white floor, shooting the orange paint, looking cool as hell. Inkling coming to Smash. Splatoon at the time, too, just being the new Nintendo franchise. It was bound to happen, but it was also a really cool trailer. So Inkling's my next choice. And then with my next pick, it's so good. Tossing everyone just into a volcano over and over and over and over and over again. Kazuya with my fourth pick. And yes, the fact that he goes and tosses Kirby in to this volcano and then they go and fly out the corner. It is the perfect amount of heart and charm that I expect from these trailers. So yes, give me Kazuya with my next pick.
You picked all Smash Ultimate reveals?
It's thus far.
Wait, do you have one more?
I do have one more.
Okay. Okay. With my next pick, I'm going to go with Simon and Richter. I think this trailer is awesome. I think Castlevania is well deserving of being in Smash Bros. Has a lot of history on the console, all the way dating back to the NES. And it's a funny, charming trailer with Luigi dying in it. Yep. So it was a cool reveal. With my final pick, we're going to go with the Mii Fighters trailer with Iwata and Reggie fighting. It just a absolutely legendary trailer that has been gift to all hell, with Reggie like blocking all the the punches from Iwata and everything. It's super cool. People wanted these characters in the game, and it was a creative, fun way to get them in there. So yeah, Reggie and Smash, there you go. Mii Fighters with the final pick.
With my final pick, I'm going to choose another Smash Ultimate reveal. I do have a couple of others here, honorable mentions and stuff like that. But Smash Ultimate was when I really feel like they kicked on the reveal train that just was unbeatable. And it starts with Joker and ends with Sora. Like, that is a terrific run of reveals, and were super impactful. My final pick is Steve. The fact that Minecraft Steve is in Smash is ridiculous. But that's what Smash Bros kind of can be at times, which is making the impossible seem possible. And going and having this partnership of Microsoft showing up and playing nice during Ultimate, we saw with Banjo, seeing it with Steve felt like like a whole nother level of that. So it's gonna be my last pick on here. Shout out to the Snake codec call with Mario and stuff like that. That's fun as hell. Shout out to King K. Rool.
Yeah, I had King K. Rool. I had Palutena, the anime style reveal trailer is super cool. I had Mega Man with like the moon in the background, super cool. Ridley. Yeah,
Ridley was so cool, dude. That was, as someone that now likes Metroid a whole bunch, that was a cool freaking trailer.
You got any more?
No, I got the amazing members that support us over on patreon.com. At that highest tier, you can get your name read at the end of each and every podcast we do here at Co-op 64. We are so thankful for your support. Amazing members like Pigeon Power,
John B,
Library Daniel,
Tyler,
Trace H,
Crumbly L,
Sir Shellis,
Cody H,
Ooh, Gracie,
Chuzar,
MG Dunbar,
Mr. Munchies,
Farmer Spud,
Rocket Tater,
Nofi,
The Dankest Mike,
Swampy Bits,
Jaxie T,
Tristan C,
Sconesy C,
Stracken 1978,
Das Goopy,
Dingleberg Rules,
Centuro,
Hook'em Horns,
Gonash,
Neutral Sphere,
Easton C,
Stooby Dooby Doo,
Crispy,
DJ Zach B,
Uli,
Jacob D,
Big Mac,
Mel Nate,
The Patty Cake,
Bear Pog,
Cowboy Jesus,
Yogi,
Dom,
Holden M,
Colin C.
Yeah, can Holden M, is there something there that's like, oh, I'm not a hero to the end of the night? Where are we at? Brock,
Voodoo,
Milky Sins,
Alex the Golden,
Andrew H,
Master Diz,
Cannon Fodder Games,
Bad Fella,
Only One Rufus,
Drifter X1 Skirt,
Goops,
JMAT B3,
Ali Benali,
and Kingdom Hearts Sucks. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.